We're back with more gaming news. It feels like we just did this, gamers. But a super, this might be the lightest news week we've ever had so far. It's so light, we don't really have a dev dub. Nothing really major happened to or from a developer that I could really see of significance. So there's no dev dub. I'm gonna just preface that there's no dev dub this week. We'll try to find, hopefully something good happens next week. So starting with larger news, smaller news, we have a single chat pick. Let's start with the Tencent versus Horizon update. Tencent versus Horizon. So Tencent finally talks back, makes statement about the current situation, about them stealing Horizon Zero Dawn's basically whole vibe, and it looks like idea. Tencent fires back at Sony's lawsuit accusing it of cloning Horizon with Light of Mataram. Tencent has responded to a Sony lawsuit which accuses it of cloning Light of Mataram of being a slavish clone. It starts off like overviewing what's been going on, but says Tencent has now responded, calling the claims startling and accusing Sony of trying to monopolize a part of popular culture when, in Tencent's view, Horizon wasn't particularly original in the first place. By the way, this is Chris Scully and VGC. If I didn't mention that already, Chris Scully and VGC. As reported by the Game Post, Tencent's response suggests that by trying to sue it for Light of Mataram, Sony is failing to acknowledge that other games feature similar concepts. Apparently Tencent knows of a list of games that have the same future robot dinosaur kind of like idea. I wonder what games that they talk about. Sony's complaint tellingly ignores these facts, it claims. Instead, it tries to transform ubiquitous genre ingredients into proprietary assets. By suing over an unreleased project that merely employs the same time-honored tropes embraced by scores of other games released both before and after Horizon, like Enslaved, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry New Dawn, Outer Wilds, Biomutant, and many more. Sony seeks an imperishable monopoly on genre conventions. So, Tencent saying that, hey, if you're suing us for copyright, whatever, why aren't you suing Breath of the Wild? It's the same game. Huh? Left side is Horizon. Right side is Light of Mataram. You tell me if either of those looks like a Zelda game or a Far Cry game. I mean, technically, right, the gameplay style is very Far Cry-esque, but the theme of it being future past robot dinosaurs or whatever, that's not the same. This is wild. The company claims that Sony's lawsuit is not aimed at fighting off piracy, plagiarism, or any genuine threat to intellectual property, but is instead an improper attempt to fence off a well-trodden corner of popular culture and declare it Sony's exclusive domain. Does this look like Outer Wilds? I don't think so. So that's the latest update on that. Tencent is really trying to get this this game out without any issues. I don't think that's gonna happen. We'll see what happens though. Next up, there's gonna be a creator update in Fortnite. This is Ed Nightingale, Eurogamer. So Fortnite creators will soon be able to sell in-game items to make more money, but our creative mode offerings like steal a brain rot what players want. They're promoting AI slop, is quoted in the article. So Epic will soon allow Fortnite developers to sell in-game items from the Fortnite Islands, allowing creators to make more money. If anyone didn't know, apparently you can make using the creator mode, you can make maps and game modes that then, if are played a lot, you can make money off of. It's saying that the first year of development for this, which starts in December, that they'll get 100% of the V-Bucks value as opposed to the usual 50%. This news comes as Fortnite's creative mode of fan-made content is proving exceptionally popular. Recently, the Fortnite version of Roblox meme game Steal a Brain Rot has more concurrent players than Epic's official maps. That's insane. So the creative mode in general launched in 2018 and allowed players to create their own maps and modes and offered a payout based on engagement. Last year, it paid out $325 million to creators, with 7 of them getting more than $10 million. $325 million to people creating Fortnite stuff in the creator mode. Since the creative mode's release, Epic has revealed players have spent over $11.2 billion hours across 260,000 creator-made islands, resulting in 722 million paid to creators. Amount of money creators will make in Fortnite is only going to increase when they're able to sell in-game items. So that's what the update is. They're going to be able to sell in-game items directly from their islands, in addition to receiving an engagement payout from Fortnite's item shop sales. Despite the huge success of creator islands, is this really what Fortnite players want? Take Steal or Brain Rot, which is what the kids are into these days. It's proven to be a phenomenal success. As Dexerto reported, it had 24 million players in a single day across both Roblox and Fortnite versions. It's a single meme game mode with 24 million players would prevent some of these studios that have been shutting down to shut down. If some of their games, if Concord had 24 million players, I actually don't know how many players it had. I'm going to assume if it had 24 million more players, it wouldn't have gotten taken down. While the Roblox version peaked at 23.4 million players in a day, Fortnite's version contributed 542,000. That vastly overweighs Fortnite's primary battle royale modes that generates around 100,000 players during peak weekend play. But there's people on Reddit that don't like this, saying they're promoting AI slop, copy and paste creative maps more than their own battle royale season. This is going to prove to be extremely unhealthy for the game in general, I believe, and with the already low player counts this season, Epic needs to do something to steer back to the basics. This metaverse stuff has ruined Fortnite. This game has become a corporate shell of what it once was, and I believe the remainder of the year will very much so make or break Fortnite as a whole. Someone else said, stuff like this is cluttering the overview, makes me disinterested in random creative maps. Those who put genuine effort into their maps often get hardly any attention. Others point out the casual nature of user-made maps, as well as the high XP offered as reasons for players to flock. So, I don't know, anyone that uses this, I completely forgot that this existed until looking at the story again, that there was a creator mode. But this is just an insane amount of money for just regular people to have. Wild stuff. All right, our last major story is breaking news. As of only a few hours ago, Xboxes were increasing the prices of their consoles again. This is Chris calling VGC. So it's raising the prices of all their consoles by at least $20, most of them more than $20. So the company announced back in May that it was increasing the prices of the consoles globally, including increasing the price of Xbox Series X and S consoles in the US by $100 and $80 respectively. Now, it's announced that it's raising the prices even further, but only in the United States this time due to changes in the macroeconomic environment. The price increases will take effect from October 3rd, which is a couple weeks from now. Both the 512 gigabyte and 1 terabyte models of the Series S will see a $20 increase on top of the $80 increase they received in May, while the X and X Digital will see their prices raised a further $50. The biggest increase is the 2 terabyte, which gets a $70 increase on top of its previous $130 increase. The console, which launched at $599, now costs $799. It's more expensive than a PS5 Pro. So it's got same storage, less capabilities as the PS5 Pro, and it's the same money. At this point, that's a great question. Why buy a console? For just a little bit more, you can get a fairly decent gaming PC and play all the same games. So going for the prices individually, Series S 512, launch price $299, raised to $380, is now going to be $400 for the Series S 512. The terabyte version is $450. The Series X Digital $600, which launched at $450. $150 more is insane. Series X base model disk drive launched at $499 is now $650, and the 2 terabytes $800. I don't remember a time ever, and maybe someone else in the chat or in the comments can verify this. I don't remember a time ever before this where current or previous gen consoles went up in price while they were still being used. Like the original Switch and Switch OLEDs went up in price, and now they're previous gen. The Series XS PS5s, they're all going to be previous gen soon. When has this ever happened? When has there ever been, when was the baseline Xbox 360 gone up in price? You know, when was the PS4 go up in price towards the end of its lifespan? This is unprecedented. How is this allowed? Right? How is this being allowed? All right, that's it for the larger news stories. Let's start with the smaller ones. We got an update on the new giant expensive Amiibos. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. Nintendo's latest Amiibo figures push the boundaries of size and price. The Kirby figures are going to be $50. Now Amiibos cost between 20 and 30, and were originally 15, 16 bucks. And look at the size difference. The regular Mario Amiibo, which I do have, will I get it? No. But look at the size. It's like double the size. Even the Mario itself is bigger than the Mario. Look how big this is. They're so big. And it's not like they've never released big Amiibos, but these are like just regular go along with the game. They're so huge. These are $40 Amiibos, these here. The new Galaxy Amiibos. Metroid ones are 30, with the cars 40. $50 for an Amiibo is kind of insane. But granted, I think these can do other things. Kirby Amiibo are unique in that they include both a rider figure and a machine to which they can be attached, with drivers also interchangeable. So they're interchangeable. They're a little bit modular, the $50 ones. They're a little bit modular. But otherwise, that's wild. So just an update on some of these Amiibos. Next up, there's hints of 2026 being the year of Palworld 1.0. No more early access. This is Chris Scully in VGC. So Palworld will leave early access in 2026 with a massive update planned for version 1.0. In video posted on the game's official YouTube channel, Communications Director and Publishing Manager John Bucky Buckley explained that content updates on the game will be a little quiet as Pocket Pair shifts its focus to fixing quirks and jank in the lead up to the game's official, proper release. Since Palworld's release, we've shipped 5 major updates, each adding new mechanics and improving the game in various ways. Buckley explained, citing the addition of raids in version 0.2, the new Sakurajima Island in 0.3, Fade Break in 0.4, Crossplay in 0.5, and the collaboration with Terraria in 0.6. Now we reach a crossroads and need to decide what comes next. While we have a lot of ideas for where we want to take Palworld, we also need to start thinking about Palworld 1.0. Beyond just adding new content, there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done before Palworld can exit early access. So 2026, they're looking, I believe, I also saw that Valheim is shooting for a 1.0 in 2026 as well. So that'd be pretty cool. We get both of those fully released. Next up, all right, we got kind of a confusing update on the Stop Killing Games stuff. This is Matt Wales. You're a gamer. Listen, it's confusing. This is Stop Destroying Video Games, which is different from Stop Killing Games, but is kind of the same thing. As Stop Destroying Video Games petition verification continues in EU, organizers are preparing to counter misinformation and industry lobbying. Okay, here we go. So, bear with me here. Stop Destroying Video Games, the European campaign inspired by the Stop Killing Games movement, has shared a progress update as EU countries continue verifying petition signatures, saying it's preparing for the next stage, which will include countering misinformation and industry lobbying. Stop Destroying Video Games is looking to convince the EU to pass regulations preventing the remote disabling of video games by the publishers before providing reasonable means to continue functioning of said video games without the involvement from the side of the publisher. To that end, it turned to the European Citizens Initiative, an official EU mechanism designed to provide a way for citizens to propose a legal act to the European Commission and successfully surpassed the 1.4 million signatures before the petition closed in July. So, the government is basically going through the signatures and making sure they're legitimate, which is going to take a few months. They're preparing to do outreach to members of parliament and the commission, countering misinformation and industry lobbying, strengthening their community structures to support this next stage. Past attempts to undermine the initiative organizers' right have shown us the risk of being too open. So this is, again, different, but the same than the Stop Killing Game stuff. They're kind of working together. Stop Destroying Video Games also noted some longtime contributors, including Ross Scott, the figurehead of the main Stop Killing Games initiative, have stepped back after years of effort. In a follow-up comment, Ross clarified it's more like I'm on call for anything where me being involved would help a lot. Most of what's happening now is best left to the people familiar with EU political processes like Moritz, so I'm leaving most things to people who know what they're doing better than I do to maximize our odds, which is smart. So they're working together, not the same, they're different. Keep that in mind. But they're making a lot of progress in the EU, looks like. A lot of legitimate progress. Last thing for the smaller news, or almost all the news in general. Gearbox CEO says, hey, you don't like this game? Refund it. Or play something else. This is Ed Nightingale, Eurogamer. Randy Pitchford is at it again. First saying that, hey, you don't like the $80 price tag? Don't buy the game. Kind of bullshit. Or this isn't the game for you. But now he's saying, get a refund if they're not happy with it, as social media tirade defending PC performance continues. You should play a different game, he's quoted. As criticism of Borderlands 4 technical performance continues, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford has told players to get a refund from Steam if you aren't happy with it. He's been on a tirade on social media in defense of the game, calling it pretty damn optimal. Pitchford stated, every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing, effectively placing responsibility on individual players to perform their own optimizations. One player responded, your product doesn't meet the standards, and said it took days to get the game to a tolerable state. You can do whatever you want, Pitchford replies. This game is the game. Please get a refund from Steam if you aren't happy with it. You made an analogy to a vehicle. I would not put a Ferrari engine in a monster truck and expect it to drive like a Ferrari. If you tell me about your specification, I can help you optimize your performance. I'm sorry you don't like being told to use DLSS, but that is the way. If you're not happy using the tools available to you to improve frame rate and you're not happy with the frame rate you have, you should play a different game. This game is awesome and it is designed to be just fine of an experience at 30 FPS and feel great at 60 FPS. We also have provided a lot of options for you to make different trade-offs between frame rate, resolution, and graphics features than we would make, and we encourage you to use those tools to optimize to your taste. Would you like help tuning your experience better to your liking? So, I mean, he's not entirely wrong, right? He's not entirely wrong. Because there are plenty of people who have gaming PCs who don't know how to just manage settings, and just like if the game doesn't work or run correctly, they don't know how to change anything. So they're like, it's the game's fault. They didn't make the game right because my specs are good. But a lot of people just don't know how to just change settings. On the other hand, he's being kind of a dick. Because he even got modded on Twitter saying, readers added context. The main contention PC gamers have is that the game is poorly optimized. A recent video by Digital Foundry will explain. Possessing the latest hardware does mitigate the poor optimization to a great degree, but it doesn't erase the fact that it is poorly optimized. So this guy's being silly again. I mean, Borderlands 4 so far has been a pretty decent hit for them. So I don't think he's honestly worried at this point about. If he was making these comments like before the game was released, maybe there would have been an issue, but like I think it's too late. I think people have already just like settled with buying the game. But hey, maybe a lot of people will refund it, but I doubt it. All right. And we have our singular relative chat pick. This is Ken Alsop, PC Gamesin. Bloodlines 2 relents on paid clans, offers them to all after frank feedback. So the Toreador and La Sombra DLC clans for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will now be included in the base game instead of being behind a paywall. Hell yeah. The two clans that were set to launch as paid DLC will now be included in the base game. The long-awaited sequel is just 1 month out, but has been mired in discontent over the locking away of two of its iconic factions. Paradox, White Wolf, and the Chinese Room confirmed that. In response to a community outcry, the Toreador and La Sombra clans will now be included as part of the base game from day one. That's exciting for the Bloodlinesers out there. The publisher recently said it was considering adjustments and refunded PlayStation Store pre-orders of the premium edition, and now we know why. The team confirms that both the Toreador and La Sombra clans will be included. Thanks to our community for the frank feedback on Bloodlines 2 and the premiere edition. Bloodlines 2 executive producer Mark Burham says that feedback made it clear La Sombra and Toreador belong in the base game, so that is what we're doing. We'd also like to thank the Chinese Room for their quick turnaround on the concepts for the post-launch story packs. We're constantly impressed by their creativity and skill in weaving enticing narrative threads that expand on the main story in Bloodlines 2. That means you'll have access to all 6 clans right from the beginning without needing to pay extra. So that's exciting. Hell yeah. GG's. GG's, guys. I guess this could kind of be the dev dub, but it's not really. I mean, the fans had to really push for this one from what I saw. And with that though, that's it. That's all the news. That's all the significant news for the week. Again, not a lot. I also feel like we just did this, but we didn't. Or we did. I don't remember the last time we did it. But that's gonna be it for gaming news. A short one, really short one. This one might be like 20 minutes as a VOD. We'll see. But thanks to everyone that hung out for news. Thanks to everyone that does comments, especially you. You know who you are. Thanks everyone that likes videos. Check out the links in the chat. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth. That's gonna be it for me for this week.